Well, the word is obviously unacceptable. But what we have to do is we have to go back and now just get ready for Baylor. So, as normally happens, there'll be some guys that played well, despite the overall carnage. But so we'll continue to get those guys better, and then the ones that didn't, we have to just keep finding a way to invest in them. This is what we have, and we got to get them better.
It is Monday, and that means defensive coordinator Manny Diaz is in-house. And, Coach, you said it pretty simply right there. How do you guys get better on defense?
Well, it's already started. The process has already started. The first thing we had to do is we had to get back together, which we did on Sunday. We had a great session together on Sunday, and the number one thing is you have to stick together. What we put out there on Saturday was the word again is unacceptable. It's something that we're unproud of. It's something that we're ashamed that we made our fans have to witness, to be perfectly honest with you. But we can't get it back now.
Yeah.
And the only thing that matters now is this Baylor game. What did come out of this game, I think we've started developing maybe some leadership that we may not have had on defense. We started to see some signs that we can become more of a player-driven team as opposed to a coach-driven team, which is exciting. So we will try to spark those things on and put all of our efforts on defeating Baylor this weekend.
Who stood out leadership-wise? Well,
our seniors. Our seniors have been playing at a very, very high level. We've had, nothing but admiration for the way that those guys have been playing, and they both played outstanding on Saturday. But really now what started to happen is they started to take the investment in the other guys and bringing the other guys along. Instead of like, I'm going to do my job, you do yours, it's like, I'm going to do my job and I'm going to grab you and pull you along to do yours as well. And I think the sense of our team, we've been a little bit waiting for that to happen. And that's why we really empowered those guys yesterday. And I think we can get, I think our young guys now realize they got 6 games to get those 2 guys to a great bowl game.
Yeah.
And we can do that.
When you think of a player-driven team, what does that mean to you?
What a player-driven, it's our job as coaches to make sure our guys are doing their job and where they're supposed to be. We didn't do a very good job as coaches on Saturday. But all the best teams are player-driven teams. What that means is that the guys want to be accountable to their teammates. You know what I mean? They want to follow the guys that, whether it's the quarterback on offense, their left tackle, whether it's the defensive end or the safety, there are those guys on the football team because that's what's going to come down to, you know what I mean? Because, you're playing for the man next to you. And every great team needs that type of leadership, and I think we've got some guys that can do that.
Oh, it's going to be a little bit harder at the defensive end position now because you end up losing Jackson Jeffcoat. It was announced Sunday night that he tore his right pec muscle. He is done for the year. How does this loss hurt the defense?
Well, first of all, very disappointed for Jackson because he was having such an outstanding season, was working really, really hard, just having the type of year you want your best players to have. You can't understate it. It's going to be a big loss for our team. He has a special set of skills that are not easily found. That's why he is who he is, and a great person to boot. Reggie Wilson will step up. Reggie's playing. I don't know if a player has improved in the 12-month span as much as Reggie has. And Reggie has done good things, in this game and in the game before where he's put some good plays on tape. And Reggie's a more dependable guy in terms of playing the option responsibilities and just doing those things that maybe everyone notices a sack, but just those other type things. And Cedric Reed's a guy that can step up too that's gotten better and better. Oscar Giles has really developed his guys well, and you got to have depth in this conference, rushing the passer.
You said after the game Saturday that you had tried to simplify things defensively. Did OU do anything that surprised you?
I don't think there was anything in it from an X and O standpoint that was really surprising. Certainly the new wide receiver that got eligible, there was that sort of issue in terms of where he was going to be lined up and how much of a factor he was. That ended up not being a deciding factor in the game. But no, it's just all about getting our guys confidence and just step A, you know what I mean, and just getting the feel of the basics of the defense. They know it works. They've seen it work in the past, you know what I mean. It's just a matter of them putting on tape that they can do it. And what ends up happening in a game like that is there's going to be plays where it all worked. You know what I mean? And it happens, so they see it happen. And the issue is now finding the consistency to make it happen on a down after down basis.
Yeah, and we look at some of the plays you guys were able to make. First touchdown, boom, it's blocked by Chris Whaley, the extra point. Quandre Diggs takes it back. You start the second half. Carrington Bindum gets a pick 6. We saw some life from this defense, but after such a tough loss, as a coach, how hard is it to motivate these guys to continue to finish out the season?
I think it's funny. As adults, I think sometimes we don't realize the kids are more resilient than we are.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I think we hold on to things a lot of times more, and I understand this. I do sympathize with our fans this week because we let them down in such a great way. We can fix it. We're already in the process of fixing it. Our players are already moved on. They're already in the process of fixing it. As coaches, we're already in the bunker. We're already getting on Baylor and have the excitement of moving forward. The fans have to sit on it all week, and I respect how difficult that is. But But these kids, and this is really the most important factor, I would be concerned if our players were not together. But our players, we had an outstanding meeting yesterday. Our players are in this together. They understand. There were great things said about our players before the season. And we told them not to believe that. Because that ultimately, biting onto that poison of all the praise we're getting could ruin this football team. There are terrible things being said about us now defensively. We tell them the same message. It's still poison. You can't listen to the outside influences, whether they're good or whether they're bad. All we can focus in on is the next play and the next opponent.
I feel like every Monday we get to this point and I go, well, it doesn't get any easier, Coach, and it does not get any easier in the Big 12. You've got Baylor and Nick Florence coming to town, #1 passing offense statistically in the country. What is the key to not stopping them but containing that offense?
Well, when you play Baylor, it comes down to explosive plays. You see the ball in the air, throwing it over the top. They have a great knack for. They have great speed at wideout. I'm not sure that Terrence Williams may not be the best wide receiver, or at least in the top 3 in the country. Right, I mean, just explosive plays. Reese on the inside, so they have great speed. Florence very accurate again, throwing the ball down the field. And then if you worry too much about that, it still again comes down to the run game. So they spread you from sideline to sideline. They throw the ball short and vertical, and then they can run the ball right down Main Street. So it's a tremendous challenge for our guys. It will still come down to limiting the explosive plays. We still have our beliefs and we still have the ability to get that done on a consistent basis, and that's what we're looking forward to showing this weekend in front of our fans.
Well, Coach, I know it was a tough weekend. Thanks a lot for spending time with us today.
Always good to be here.